that button. Hello, 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 streamers and streamies, those watching the show. Welcome to another exciting adventure of Exiles in the Mist as we travel through the House of Lament and the Domains of Dread, otherwise known as the Mists of Raveloft. If you were here last time, you know where we're about to pick off. But if you weren't, which some of our players weren't, including a new player you will meet today, we're going to need to do a quick recap. So last session, our characters awoke to find that the mists had drifted into the house. Heathcliff, roused from a nightmare. Normally, we had seen the nightmares kind of move people around the house. So Heathcliff had every reason to believe as he awoke that he would be the one elsewhere in the building. However, as he began to look around, he realized very quickly that once again, our dear friend Abel was missing. He noticed to one side of him that Ez was asleep. He went to rouse her, and as he went to rouse her, he noticed the walls begin to pill around him, and basically we had our horror movie scene of the bleeding walls. And it startled him. He had a bit of a jump scare, but immediately reasoned that, hey, this is just another phantasm of the house, and phantasmagoria should be ignored. So he woke Ez and began trying to explain it to her, and she, of course, agreed to him. In the meantime, we had Eclipse and Irina. They were outside in the carriage when Eclipse woke and noticed that the fog had moved in so thick that they could barely see the light from the front porch. On rousing Irina, she suggested they needed to hurry inside because the mists could play tricks on you. When they made it in, they found Heathcliff waking Ez, but they also noticed the absence of Abel. Well, in fact, Heathcliff noticed and Eclipse noticed, but Irina and Ez seemed very confused. Who was this Abel person that they were speaking of? There was only ever the two of them here. They could prove it in the amount of gold that they paid the party. They had paid them 40 gold before and 40 gold now. Like, there was no third person. And they suggested, in fact, that this third person that our two heroes believed they were with was actually just a figment of the house, another phantasm that made them believe there was something there. They themselves just couldn't reconcile it. They did not know of this other person that they spoke. Heathcliff and Eclipse deciding that this was that they needed to find their missing compatriot, they decided to go ahead and continue searching the house. They did a quick once-over of the floor that they had been on before and saw more specters and spooks, but they never found him. And so they continued up to the floor that none of them had been on yet. Now, on this floor, things finally began to take a strange turn in, we'll call, an already strange house. Things got even weirder. First, there were rooms that as they entered one door, they came out of another room. This was not a meta moment, I swear.
Is it like Scooby-Doo doors?
No, they entered one room and literally, so there were two rooms on the left side of the hall, and when they entered the northern room, they realized they were actually in the southern room when they walked out of it. So when they tried to re-enter the northern room, they popped back out of the southern room. So they closed the door to the southern room, unlocked it, went back in, and found themselves in the northern room because magic doors, haunted house, nightmare logic. And like I say, this had absolutely nothing to do with the GM placing the characters in the wrong room in the first place. Totally.
Nothing at all.
As they continued to explore, they came across a bag that looked like a body had been drug into it, but not seeing a body, they collected the bag. They found a riddle that they solved fairly quickly. A door that, we'll get to that door in a minute. They found the clue to said riddle was a holy symbol of the god of Ezra, which was a shield with a belladonna sprig on the front of it. But that was it. The bag and this were really all the things that they found. So they continued to check out the other rooms on the next floor up. As they did, they found a sitting room, a family room, with a fireplace and a family portrait, all in oil painting. The oil painting was alive. And they very quickly insulted said oil painting of the family. And Loren Halvarist, the man of the house, pulled himself out of the painting in dripping oil wax and began attacking Heathcliff. Eclipse, unsure of whether to fight this beast or how to handle the situation, struck the painting as there were 4 other members of the family trying to clamber their way out of it. And he was able to destroy the painting before anyone else escaped. So the painting was destroyed, they fought the creature, and they also found a lockbox hidden in the wall behind the painting. Inside this lockbox, they found a symbol, a holy symbol of Ravenkind, as well as just trinkets. It was where jewelry was stashed. Think of it like the family safe, effectively. Continuing to the next room, they found a playroom, but this playroom for children had shattered shelves and shattered toys and all of this detritus in a pile of broken wood on the floor. The broken wood animated itself as Eclipse went in, turning into a pair of cackling children's dolls, marionettes that came to life, giggling to be played with. In fact, Eclipse took, I think, perhaps maybe special pleasure in playing with them as he booted them across the room with the magic force of Thunderwave more than once, as they yelled, "Wee!" to come play with them. These creatures pulled out silver needles that were the length of like knitting needles, but they were absolutely like sewing needles, like super sharp pointed, gleaming in the moonlight, sort of just dangerous looking affairs. But our heroes defeated them. Upon defeating them, they found the last room in the upstairs, which was on the other side of this toy room, which would reveal itself to be a children's nursery. And on the outside of this nursery was the riddle that I mentioned earlier. The holy symbol of Ezra had appeared on the door, hovering in the air in glowing blue light. Ezra, our players realized through their own religious understandings, is a god of travelers within the mist and was a protector of people that need protecting. And something was missing from said symbol in the air. It was a shield, but it was missing the belladonna sprig, which coincidentally, when you guys first arrived in the House of Lament, there was a conservatory on the bottom floor, and the only living plant had been a single belladonna. So, Eclipse, using his druidic ways, had collected said plant and used it to overlay said shield symbol of Ezra, and sure enough, it unlocked the door and allowed them into the nursery. Once they got into the nursery, they found talking toys. Not creepy talking toys, but a tin soldier and a stuffed elephant. And the tin soldier and the stuffed elephant spoke with the voices of Vastian and Regan Havelrist, the children of Havelrist House. We discovered that their mother, in the final moments as the house was being attacked by monsters and whatnot, the hungry ones, as the children call them, the mother had prayed to Ezra to protect the children, and Ezra, the god, had sealed this room, trapping the children inside of it, which is where they died. But no monsters had been able to come collect it. So this room has actually been like a safe space within the house. Also within the room was a rocking chair with the corpse of their dead mother on it.
Mental
Keith,
health.
what's that?
That's good for your mental health.
Right? Heathcliff, I mean, the children are dead now too. So Heathcliff decided it's another body we need to lay to rest. Collected the body and they moved out. As they moved out, the house began to take on new life of its own. The wooden floors creaked louder. The walls seemed to move indiscriminately in the shadows. The lighting took on a more sinister tone. They decided to make haste. They needed to get this body out of the house, lay it to rest. And as they traveled down to the floor below, they realized they needed to walk on the path that our map now shows them on. The map that you see in front of you here on Fantasy Grounds, this bad boy. And as they walked past this room, an eerie green glowing light pervaded through the door that was wide open. Mists came drifting out into the hallway, And as Heathcliff went walking past, he heard the coughing, wheezing, hacking sounds that you had heard before when you were on this floor. Heathcliff had already encountered something in this room. He had already encountered something sitting upon the canopy bed found within this bedroom, which I will reread the description of this room. This was the room that smelled like ammonia and medicine, and much like an old hospital. And the coughing and wheezing continued with, Theodora? Theodora, is that you, girl? Come in here. You needs to help me with my medicine. This wheezing sound. Heathcliff sat down the body he was carrying, the body of Theodora, no less. He actually was carrying it in the rocking chair that it had been found in. So, like, he just picked up the whole chair with the body in it and carried that down. Which, in retrospect, Heathcliff, I was being nice to you. I should have made you make a strength check to carry all of that. Like, it's not easy to carry a body down the stairs to begin with, which, I mean, I guess it was a skeleton. But
we were supposed to be doing it, like, one person on either side of the chair carrying it kind of thing.
Fair. And I think you guys might have said that. You might actually have been. But realizing that you had been spotted moving past this door, you set the body down and came back to the door. The party is gathered to deal with whatever coughing, wheezing, hacking sound you guys had dealt with from the room. And that is where we left off. And that is where we'll be picking up. Do any of my players have any questions before we continue?
None that won't be answered by playing.
I do.
Go for it.
Are you gonna be playing the father in this room, or are you gonna be the father in this room tonight?
I'm confused.
I heard the cough.
Oh. What he's saying is I flipped my mic up IRL and coughed IRL. And you know what? That was part of the character. You shouldn't out me like that. Okay, Druzzle? Dang. Who do you think you are? Minus 50 experience.
You think he's your roommate.
In a game where we're using milestone leveling and everything, I need you to subtract 50 experience from your character sheet.
Negative 50 experience. That hurts.
All right. If there's nothing else, I'm going to go ahead and drop the father on this room. Oh, let's give the description of the room originally. A grand canopied bed occupies this room, its headboard engraved with the phases of the moon. A wardrobe, writing desk, and torn leather chair fill out the space, all bearing rampant mildew. A chemical smell, like ammonia or medication, lingers here. I need... Well, we'll go ahead and do it from everybody. I need initiative rolls from everyone. Please. I don't normally like picking up straight into combat, but I believe that'll be a great way to get us started today. My music also seems to have stopped playing. It's awful quiet. But that's fine.
20. Too bad nat 20s don't matter on initiative.
You broke the pattern, though.
Also going to double check OBS. Looks like Discord, they can hear you today, guys. That's awesome.
I'm never going to go first in the initiative. My curse.
Irina still has a chance to make it.
Yeah.
I mean,
give me 1 second. I will adjust Irina's. I got to turn the volume up for the stream. The music is incredibly quiet.
this is a whole lot better than we've been doing.
Irina still has a chance to continue.
This is listed as creepy combat music. For the record stream, the music that I use comes from lo-fi that I find online, which is Walking Dog. This is the normal one that I go to. But the combat music, most of my combat music, is actually Arcane Anthems. So please feel free to check them out. I support their work. This is me advertising for them for free. I love them because basically people constantly tell him on Instagram, hey, people are using your music without permission, and his response is quite literally, yeah, that's what it's there for. And that to
That's
me is
because
awesome. Like,
Spotify got
What's-
tired of the ads.
what's that?
That's because we had Spotify and you get tired of the ads. You
Yeah,
wanted to
well,
break from.
that's also true. All right. Get back to Fantasy Grounds. Zoom out on the room. And then, yes, I need to roll Arena. Arena, what is your score? Well, I don't know. It's 19. Holy crap. Okay, Irina.
18, 19, 17, 18, 19, 20. If only I had a 21.
I see you, Irina.
Odd man out. I told you he broke the pattern. Battered it wide open.
Oh, wait. I don't want to drop the token that way. Delete token. Delete this token. I want to put it on the combat tracker first. Now that it's on the combat tracker, which you guys can't see it, I click and drag it from the combat tracker to the room, and that will make it targetable correctly. I'm visible. Can you see me?
See you.
Theoretically, it auto rolls that number for me and put this creature at the bottom of the initiative tracker, but I like rolling that number myself. So, no dex modifier for this creature, so I'm going to go ahead and roll. Which still keeps it at the bottom of the initiative tracker. Isn't that nice, guys? Alright, Irina steps to the door, looks at Heathcliff and Eclipse, and draws her sword and says, "What do you guys want to do?" That is her asking her question before she moves forward. She is going to... You know what? She's going to go ahead and step into the room, but that's as far as she's going to go. She's literally just going to step inside the door, ready her weapon. For if the creature approaches, her reaction will be to strike. She'll trigger action attack this creature. Then she will pass turn to Sazid, who isn't here currently. To Eclipse. Eclipse, Irina has entered the room of the coughing creature. What do you do?
I will start off by using my wild shape starry form and double check here.
That is your second use of wild shape today. I believe that'll be your last available use.
Yeah, I forgot to mark it last time. I'll be going for Archer.
I figured Archer would be your go-to.
Yeah, I was thinking Chalice, but I only have one spell slot left, so. And then I'll position myself. See the grid very well. Okay, then. Okay. Yeah, I'm not taking any risks. I'm going to go ahead and fire at the thing.
I'm going to go ahead and describe the thing for you.
Oh, okay.
So as you step into the room, you see this man dressed in a white dressing gown that drapes the floor. You realize immediately that one hand is on top of his head, and he appears to be holding his own head attached to his body. His skin is decrepit, and flesh seems to be peeling and falling off of him as he coughs and bits spew from him, like splattering goo and gunk and green mucus. But also, green mist seems to swirl around him as he's coughing and hacking. And it's not the green mist of Ravenloft that you're used to. Well, it is, but it's also this, like, noxious cloud of something sort of drifting around him. Like, you could smell it. You don't just smell the medicine in the room now. You smell rot. You smell bad breath. You smell decay coming from this man. So, that is what you see.
Fantastic. Okay, well, I am casting my special light arrow at him. I probably should come up with a name for that eventually. There it is. And go. Aw, sad day. Do I have an inspiration point? Do I want to cast for that? It's early.
You do currently have an inspiration point. It's up to you if you want to spend it.
I'm going to go ahead and spend it.
Alright. We get a reroll on that attack roll. Seemed to have been a good use. You hit.
Yay, my curse has ended.
For now.
And go.
This glowing ball of starlight arcs through the air, pushing the mist aside as it gets there, as it cuts its way to him, and impales itself into his flesh, a festering wound appearing immediately where it strikes, and just green goo splattering out of it. Theodore, did you... Oh, the cough is getting worse. Oh, I feel a pain in my chest, Theodore. Come here where I can see you.
Oh, that's disconcerting. Let's see. So
That, I believe, was
that's
just your bonus
attack.
action. Yep.
Yeah. Let's see. I still have 3 charges left in Magic Missile, if I remember correctly, because I used 3 on the painting. And you said 6, right?
Yep.
Okay. I will go ahead and cast just 1 Magic Missile.
Alright, that'll be 1 charge, gets you 3 missiles themselves, which are all a d4 plus 1 apiece.
That's 1. I forgot. How do I add extra dice?
You'll want to roll these ones individually because it adds the modifier separately. So
2 and 3.
doesn't look like you applied the first one to the creature.
Oh.
So I'll add it. That's okay. He's hacking up a lung. Seems largely unfazed by these strikes, but he lets out a yowl of anger and rage. Like something is, like, he's not happy. But the impacts themselves simply seem not to phase him. Is there anything else you would like to do for your turn?
That will be it for me. And there is combat tracker, and there is button.
All right, Abel Gherkin. Now we will start with you. I need a percentile roll from you, Abel.
$28.
All right, you also are not going to get to function yet this turn. However, thanks to your roll, the fireplace eclipse, you notice green mist seems to start billowing in. The green mist that you're used to here, billowing in from the chimney in the room behind the creature. And it just starts piling into this room.
We might want to destroy said chimney.
Heathcliff, your turn, sir.
Does he seem to think and know that his wife is out here?
He seems to think that you guys are his wife.
Yes.
At least that's as far as you get without an insight check.
All right. Well, then I'm going to see here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I think I'm going to move up here.
All right. Pause there for a second. Okay. I just wanted to see something. All right, you're good. Keep
And
going.
On the way, I'm going to draw both of my short swords.
All right. As you get up next to him, you realize it's actually difficult to breathe in this gas cloud that seems to be billowing around him. This smoke cloud that seems to be billowing around him.
Excellent.
So, your weapons are drawn. Do you strike?
Yes. Yes, I would.
Just realized I need
For a 10 to hit.
That is a hit.
Excellent. What was all that?
If it was any of your business, I would have told you.
No touchy, I'm gonna assume.
It's only 1 or 2 dice, I promise.
In fact, it was 12.
For 6 damage.
The blade strikes home. You realize, now that you're up in his face, you recognize that around one of his arms, the arm that seems to be holding his head in place, there is a sheet of fabric. You recognize the sheet of fabric as the same fabric that was cut from the canopy when you were in this room before. And this fabric is sort of tied around his arm and around his neck and head as though it's like holding his head there together. I'm going to go ahead and let you roll an off combat or an out of initiative insight check for me, please.
If I can find it. 15.
Yeah, the wound in his neck looks suspiciously like a short sword swing. For those that don't know, last time we were in this room, Heathcliff saw a silhouette sitting on the bed, and he tried to use his sword to cut the fabric away to see what was behind, what was causing the silhouette. And as he swung, the blade struck home in something, and whatever it was fell off the bed towards him in an almost lunging pattern. But when whatever it was hit the floor, it was just a pile of the fabric of the canopy that had been cut down. There was nothing there.
I remember that.
Yep.
So, there's that. As this short sword of yours strikes home and you notice this, he looks at you and he says, "Agatha, why are you hitting me, girl?"
Do I know or think that I successfully cut off his head, or do I not know yet?
You don't know.
Okay.
You don't know that cutting off his head has any unique damage to him. It's you would suspect this is mostly aesthetic. I mean, these are hauntings.
Okay. Then I'm just going to attack him with my offhand short sword. For a 23 to hit.
Well, that's probably gonna hit.
I don't know, it might not. He might have shield.
I want shield that gives me 13 extra defense.
For 2 damage.
Ding. That one strikes home, but he barely notices.
Stay here.
Okay. bringing it to his turn. What did I say, girl? Fetch my medicine. And he sort of lunges his entire body in your direction, slamming himself at you. For 15 to hit, does that strike home?
Yes. Ouch.
For 12 points of damage, which 6 of was necrotic damage. As his own goo and bile sort of splatters out of him onto you, and it's so disgusting. Like, it fills your mouth, gets some in your eyes, and you immediately feel like you want to vomit. The problem is he does this a second time. An 11 to hit.
Misses.
Well, isn't that lucky? That is the end of his turn. Bringing us to Irina. He's out of reach of Irina currently, so it did not trigger any of her stuff. So she is going to move herself right here, placing herself between, as much as she can, between Eclipse and this creature. She still kind of has that I offer to protect this guy mentality with Eclipse, so she places herself there. Eclipse, you, Irina, and Heathcliff all find yourselves now sort of in this thing's noxious cloud that surrounds it. She swings her sword at the monster. What the heck? This is our combat music? No, it says my music ended, and it went and played what it wanted to. Not that I have a problem with the song that was playing. I love it. I just don't want it to pop up a copyright thing when I'm trying to share my stream, you know? So, that's weird.
Yeah, that probably would have been copyrighted.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, because that was a cover song of a song. All right. She hit. That is good. And she only dealt 5 points of damage as her sword just sort of impales into its side and more goo splatters out around it. She is not a dual-wielding fighter at the moment. So that'll bring us to Sazid. I need you to roll a percentile, please.
Can do.
Do you know how to roll that?
Oh, that's a D4. That's not a percentile. Here we go. This one. For a 40. Or a 4.
That also popped up a 4. I'm sorry, Sazid.
So the D4 counts.
I'm sorry, Sazid. You still don't make an appearance. Which, I don't know, might be best for you at this particular moment. Eclipse.
Ease. Let's see. We are going to. I was going to field. That gains away. Okay. Okay, so I can go 1, 2.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just realized, because you started your turn, was it within 10 feet of the creature? Yep. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Oh, fantastic.
Lucky you. Nat 20. First Nat 20 of the session today.
That think that's also my first net 20 period.
Well, there you go. That's not a bad way to start. This one could have really tore you up, but that's okay. You succeeded.
I would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I will first use Cure Wounds.
How many spell slots do you have left? You used a lot last session.
I used 2 of them. I used 2 Thunderclaps, so I still have 1 left.
1 left, so you're going to use it for this?
Yes.
Hey, Carl.
Yes, sir?
With Irina's attack, you screwed up.
Oh, she should have had advantage.
Yep.
Also, I don't know who this Carl person is. But
But I will go ahead and use my Cure Wounds on Heathcliff.
You know, the llama-obsessed kid from Jimmy Neutron.
he was a llama in a hat.
That too.
9 points of healing. That's good. That was a great chunk that he just healed from, so that's nice.
And then that I will use my. I really need to come up with a good name for this arrow. I'm gonna think of that before my next turn. I will use my starry arrow on said gross guy.
For a hit. And, I mean, to be fair, your star arrow is a shooting star. So, I mean, you could just call it your shooting star.
Yeah, but that's just copping out.
But it's perfect because right before you use it, you can look at the bad guy and say something awesome like, hey, make a wish. And then fire it, you know? But, I don't know, that's me.
That's fair. And then that. Okay, and done.
As these strikes land home on him, goo has begun to splatter, and basically he's bleeding out this brackish liquid, and it's splattering all over the floor. Like, he's absolutely taken a fair amount of damage now. But he keeps on ticking. That brings us to Abel Gherkin. Which, give me just one moment, sir. Abel, what's the last thing you remember?
We were exploring these rooms.
The rooms on this floor, no less. And actually, you guys finished
There
that.
was a dog.
The last room that you guys explored, well, not the last room you guys explored, but the last time you were exploring, you had been struck by the specter of the witch and had a big chunk of your life taken, and you guys were resting. So you wake up from your rest to find yourself standing in a room, green mist everywhere around you. Your allies are here with you, and they appear to be fighting some kind of monster.
Oh, fun.
Everyone else, you see this shadow of a black dragon, dragonborn, form at the mouth of the fireplace in the green mist. And with any luck, he comes out swinging. Abel, what do you do for your turn?
Breath weapon.
Isn't your breath weapon a cone or something? Or is it a line?
Isn't it?
That's what I'm looking at right now.
I believe it is a cone.
Line.
And I think it's 15.
Oh, it's a line.
feet.
A 5 by 30 foot of line of acid. Nice. Oh, you drop that save directly on the creature.
Alright. I thought you said you didn't want us doing stuff like that.
With attack rolls. That's a saving throw.
Uh-huh.
That's not a roll. It auto triggers just so that I don't have to trigger it. To which he succeeded. His success, I believe, is half damage. I want to double check that.
Yeah. it
Half
does
as much
play
on a
off
successful
his
one.
Initial, yeah.
Alright, roll your damage, sir.
Do you want me to roll it directly on him?
Yeah, you can roll the damage on him. Which would auto-cut in half for you. For 3 points of acid damage. What else would you like to do for your turn? That was an action.
Yeah, I know. I think that's it. I
You
think
gonna
I'm gonna.
Draw a weapon
I'm
or
gonna-
anything?
Yeah. What will I draw? I have a couple things. I will draw my longsword.
Okay.
No, I'll draw my rapier.
Alright.
And then pass turn. I clicked the button and it didn't.
Huh. That's weird. Well,
So
I'll
I
move it for you.
I figured out what the name of my shooting star thing is going to be.
What's that?
It's going to be Antares Snipe.
Okay.
For any of you that know Fate, Granddaughter of Fate, you know who that belongs to.
Unfortunately, I do not. But that is one that I'm supposed to watch. Our dear friend Bengali has talked to me about it more than once.
Oh, yes. The servant's name is Chiron
Mm-hmm.
from Greek myth, and that's his ultimate attack. He shoots a shooting star at someone, essentially, from Sagittarius.
Oh, that's cool. Alright, Heathcliff.
What favorite?
Heathcliff, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
You can do it!
You
Is
notice that you have been healed by our dear friend Eclipse, and as you're like getting the healing, you look behind him and see manifest out of the mist your friend Abel, who releases this line of acid.
Is the saving throw based on the fact that this is a aerosolized thing?
Are you asking if you're breathing it in? That's the problem?
I don't breathe.
Oh.
That's why I was asking.
It's
That's
an
a fair
aura.
Okay. So it's just an aura. All right. Yeah. You said con save?
Yep.
An 8. I thought that was a 9 for a second.
I'm going to ask you this politely without giving you any clues.
Yeah.
Do you want to re-roll that with your clip or with your thing? Okay.
That one.
Inspiration spent.
Yeah.
You succeeded on your saving throw.
Huzzah!
Excellent.
With 2 players now having to deal with it, you are both now certain that anyone standing within 10 foot of this creature will have to make it that save every time it starts its turn. I take that back. Everyone who has failed on the save will have to continually make the save every turn.
Oh, so if we've succeeded once, we don't have to do it again?
Yeah. For 24
Nice.
hours. So, you guys are
Wouldn't
good.
Eclipse have to make that save too?
Eclipse did make that save.
That was my first crit.
That's what he nat 20'd.
Well,
So-
I shouldn't. I am going to hit this guy with a short sword. For a 22 to
Good thing
hit.
you had it.
Dropping a 1, you gave a 22 to hit.
All
Question, which short sword's in your main hand? Is it the skeletal short sword, or is it your starting one?
I didn't differentiate between the two.
That's why I'm asking for you to
I
differentiate.
didn't. I didn't know I needed to. I'd probably be using the skeleton in my offhand.
Okay. I was just curious for descriptive purposes. For the audience members that don't know, in our very first session, our party had a pretty bad beat by a group of skeletons, and the only proof those skeletons were ever there in the first place is this short sword that our dear friend collected. Alright, so with your main action, you swung with your short sword. What else are you going to do?
I'm gonna actually do my damage.
Groovy.
And we said control, right? Oh no, it's not a crit. Never mind. Oh, almost did too much damage.
7 points of damage strikes home as more of this goo splatters out. Theodora! The servants, they're attacking me, Theodora. Agatha and that blasted brother of hers.
This guy can't tell his nose from his elbow. I am gonna hit him with my offhand now.
To be fair, he is a zombie.
Yeah, that's why I didn't do something else that I could have done. Because I figured he was undead. So 24 to hit.
That's a hit. That's a good hit. That's a solid hit.
I still had him targeted. I'm sorry.
Do you want to re-roll that, though?
No.
With advantage?
Did you want me to?
I mean, technically you should. That one didn't roll with advantage.
Yeah, he did. Dropped an 18, or dropped a 10.
Oh, I didn't see that. You're right. Never mind.
Okay. Yeah, the only thing I did on that one was I had him targeted instead of not targeted.
Gotcha.
Because I'd left it from my first attack.
Maybe that's why it looks weird on my side.
Yeah. So, 1 dice. Sweet. Full 6 damage.
Max damage is always nice. You hack away again at this slash across his neck.
Dagger. I'm going to think tactically again, and I'm going to move 5 feet sideways, and then in my turn.
Okay. That brings it to his turn. Now, he could slam, and we know that if he does, he'll do it twice. But I need everyone, except for Heathcliff, to give me a Constitution saving throw. I'm sorry, and I guess technically except for Sazid, since he hasn't manifested yet. He'll manifest on his next turn. So everyone but Sazid and Heathcliff to give me a Constitution saving throw. As this thing lets out just sort of a cry and it explodes this poisonous gas out of him that is a breathing effect. So, Abel, you passed. Eclipse, you failed.
Anyone have an inspiration point I can use?
Unfortunately. And Irina fails.
Shouldn't Irina be same as me?
You're right. You're right. Irina didn't have to make the check either. I completely forgot because she is the same species as you.
Feeling left.
So it's just Eclipse who has to breathe this toxic gas.
So of course it is.
You take 19 points of damage as this noxious gas fills your lungs.
Ow.
Yeah. Great.
It is Irina's turn. Irina, in response to him spewing this noxious gas, swings her sword. For a miss.
You did it again.
Okay. She re-rolls that with advantage. For a miss.
Well, I tried.
That's
That's all you
Get
can
out
do.
of the way.
Sazid. Give me one moment. One. Aha.
Ah! A moment, not a second. So you still have like 45 seconds left.
Well, a moment could be a moment in time, in which case she could have the entire year.
That's true.
I gotta get my combat music to pause for a moment. And we will go to a random one on this one. If it plays. There it goes. Sazid, you, sir, are walking along minding your own business. You have just recently gotten back from a raid where you and several other hunters were going after a target that had been pillaging villages just on the coast of Faerun, the Forgotten Realms.
Hopefully a successful raid.
And I say just walking along, but in reality, just walking along for you is high above the clouds. You notice
Usually.
that the weather turns stormy. The clouds begin to darken. It's almost as though night has fallen. But you feel that telltale feel that you have when you pass into another realm. Now, normally, when you're on a hunting party, one of your mentors or one of the other members of the party will open doorways that lead you from the plane of air where you live, that leads you to the place where you're going to be hunting an enemy. You get that feeling, but you are alone. Someone or something has opened a door, and you have stepped through. You find yourself high in the air above this dark home, a Victorian-style mansion that's old and decrepit, with a giant black stone spire, tower. That the tower looks impossibly old in comparison to the house, and the house looks old as it is. And you find yourself sort of circling it as this green mist of clouds that you're flying in begin to like engulf around you. You can see nothing except for this thing below you, because the mist and fog has begun to fill in the sky above you, and it's to the north, south, east, and west. It's everywhere. But somehow directly below you is this single solitary light source. Do you move towards it?
Fly down towards the house.
As you're moving towards the house, I need you to roll me an athletics check, please.
Let's check. That would be in action, I'm guessing. No. Skills.
Skills.
For a 16.
Well, you don't stumble as this mist begins to engulf you. You feel it chasing you as you head towards this house, and it starts to occlude your vision until the house is all but vanished. And the next thing you know, you are flat on a bed. Now, luckily, your athletics check has kept you, you're not prone on this bed. But you realize very quickly you're standing on a bed. You don't know how you got on this bed. You don't know how you got inside of a building. Last you knew, you were flying towards the ground. But here you are, standing on a bed in a room. Rest of the party...
All the curtains are closed in this bed, right?
All of the curtains except for one immediately to your right, so left on the image. It has been cut off. You hear the sounds of combat around you. There is a cloud of noxious gas. There is, well, actually, given what you are for your day job, you know for certain that this room has a plague spreader zombie in it. Like, you know you have landed in the middle of some people fighting a plague spreader zombie. The rest of the party, you guys are suddenly inundated by a cloud of just black feathers that just kind of scattered around the room. Giant, massive black feathers. Not entirely unlike, at least at first glance, the ones you found on the road and the ones you've found in the lockbox. Sazid, what do you do?
So, first thing I'll do is roll perception or investigation to basically figure out the surroundings.
I mean, you could just open the curtain as an item interaction. If you use a skill, it's going to be your action for the turn.
Yeah, we'll just walk out and check what's going on. We'll move here.
Yeah, you notice these guys all fighting a zombie. Rest of the party, can you describe yourself? We'll go ahead and start with, because he's next in initiative, Eclipse. Can you go ahead and describe yourself, please?
Yeah, of course. So, name's Eclipse. I am a tabaxi with yellow, black, and white markings. I also have a distinct spade markings. You can't see it because of clothes, but spade markings on chest and on the side of outside side of either thigh. I am a druid that is Circle of the Stars, and yeah, which now that reminds me, I was told that I should look into getting a companion that I'm supposed to have. Yeah.
You're not supposed to have a companion. You have the ability to summon a companion instead of wild shaping.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, good to know.
Sazid, currently, this tabaxi also is glowing. Their entire outline is glowing with starlight.
Oh yeah, that's the thing.
Abel, describe yourself.
I am a black dragon looking humanoid.
You would recognize a dragonborn, Sazid.
I figured I would.
I'm wearing full armor, carrying a longsword and a rapier. Kind of got a puzzled look on my face at the moment. I don't really know what else to say.
All right. And Heathcliff.
I look like a drow. I'm wearing leather armor in the style of greaves and a black leather duster, and I've got currently a pair of empty short sword scabbards on my hips with the short swords in my hands, and a couple of daggers in sheaths on my shoulders.
All right. For everyone else's edification, Sazid, describe yourself.
So, Aarakocra, black feathers, small red inlays in the wings. And as far as clothing, I'm wearing leather armor under what looks like a Jedi cloak.
Yeah, he's got brown robes on.
Have a longbow strapped over my shoulder and a rapier on my hip.
So that is the scene as it unfolds around you. You guys are seeing a giant black bird person. Would you guys have encountered black bird people before?
Probably not.
Yes, you have. You have not encountered Aarakocra before, but you started this session, or this game, by encountering a black bird person in the middle of the road.
Right. I was referring to on Aarakocras.
Yeah. Which I never said you guys encountered an Aarakocra. I said you encountered a bird person.
He just looks like the bird person.
Sazid, what do you do? You've moved that
And
far.
then, seeing that these guys are clearly fighting a monster with my background, I might as well join the fight. So I'll draw my longbow and go shoot at it. For an 8 to hit.
That, my friend, is a miss. Your longbow arrow cuts through the air in the room and embeds itself in the wall. Got anything else you would like to do?
No. Except for introduce myself and let them know I'll help them. So, I'm Sazid, and we can take care of the rest of the introductions once this monster's dealt with.
Works for me.
Irina soliloquies. Oh, is this the guy? She's looking at Eclipse and Heathcliff. You guys have been telling her for hours that you guys were missing a member of your party. Is this the guy you're talking about?
I thumb over.
That's her soliloquy. Remember, if you respond to her, you will be using your soliloquy for the turn.
I'd say go for it, Eclipse.
I don't know what the soliloquy is and pertains to D&D.
So when it's not your turn, you basically can say one thing.
Oh, gotcha. I just thumb over to Abel. It's like, no, this is our guy. That is new guy. And I go ahead and point to Sazid.
Arena is looking at Abel like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's been here the whole time.
On that note, I'll pass turn.
All right. Eclipse, sir, your turn. Yeah, I was about to say it was good for Eclipse to go ahead and use his soliloquy. His turn was coming up, which means your soliloquy is now reset.
Yeah. Okay. I am just gonna. I'm just gonna go this direction because I have super range,
I'm just gonna hide in the corner.
and I am gonna go ahead and use my Antera snipe.
Do you like yell and Terra snipe when you fire?
I do, specifically this time.
All right, Eclipse, I'm going to go ahead and tag you with a point of inspiration for roleplay. That's a hit.
Yay!
For 8 points of damage, radiant damage, it burns into his flesh as more and more goo splatters out around him. This guy is pretty beat up. He's taken more damage than any 2 monsters you guys have fought throughout this entire campaign so far, combined. And yet he's still kicking.
I will use my 5th charge of magic missile on him.
Okay.
And 3 of these, and a 1. Literally. And a 2. Dang it.
Thwack, thwack, thwack! These 3 green darts of force energy just thump, thump, thump right into his chest. Causing him to hack and cough and spew more up. Anything else?
That will be it. And I said, he looks like he's almost done. Finish him already.
Finish him.
Finish him.
I wish Arena would have listened to me. I told her to get out of the way, but then you passed her turn. I'm gonna run up and attack with my rapier.
Okay. I'm surprised you're using the rapier. Having the longsword was a big part of your character creation.
Yeah, I know, but the rapier does more damage.
He even drew the longsword last turn.
No, I
changed-
didn't.
No, he
I
drew the
say
rapier.
rapier.
He said rapier.
And I'm using Divine Smite on that attack.
Yeah, that is a hit, so okay. That'll burn a spell slot.
Yes.
How many spell slots do you currently have available? You have both of them available. I'll go ahead and mark one off for you.
Lucky.
And roll my damage directly on him.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Oh,
How does this look? Now, I want to be clear. He's dying, not dead. But how does this attack look?
Yeah, he looks like he's holding his head on with his hand.
Mm-hmm. And a
stab-
neat assortment of fabric, yeah.
I stab his hand to try and dislodge it, and when it hits, a spark, almost like a firecracker of bright light.
Of the smite going off. I like it.
Yeah.
You basically set a firework off in his hand as the sword stabs it, which actually blows his hand one direction. The fabric ignites, singeing it free of his hand, and his head just like drops. Now it's hanging in front of his chest, tied on by the fabric, and he just kind of like sort of looks around the room for a second before, like, the eyes are on it open as it's hanging upside down, still held on by the fabric where it's tied to his neck. And then he just falls onto the floor, writhing. Now, we haven't really had to deal with this a whole lot yet, but I have this different idea of quote-unquote unconscious while dying. You're not actually unconscious. You're in that you can't really do anything. You know, your last breaths, you can't swing your arms kind of motion. So, like, he's down on the ground just, like, hacking and coughing up goo onto the ground, and you hear him mumbling something about Theodora, in more or less incoherently. Anything else you would like to do with your turn? You still have a
No,
bonus
'cause I
action and a
can't-
move.
I can't.
Yeah.
Well, if I move, I'll. He's on the ground. Would he be able to attack of opportunity?
No, he's He's quote unquote unconscious by the mechanics standards. So no, he can't. Attack of opportunity. AOO.
Going back to where I was, and I don't have any cantrips. So, yeah, I'm good.
All right, that brings us to Heathcliff's turn.
Yeah, I'm not taking any chances with this guy, so I'm gonna stab one each hand.
Just stab them
Give
both into his corpse. Just poke them.
Yeah, for death saving throws.
Irina says, "I don't understand why you keep stabbing with a slashing weapon."
Maybe he
But-
should have the rapier.
As soon as I'm done with that, I'm going to turn suspiciously on Sazid and say, when we three first ran into each other, there was a giant black bird thing that was there.
Can I make a, I don't know if it'd be a nature roll to be able to spot the difference between who we saw and who he is?
You absolutely can. So while you're trying to identify that, Sazid, he has just informed you that they had encountered a black bird person before.
And I got 14.
I don't know who that is, but I just got here.
Irina goes, "Boy, that sure sounds like racism. You think all black bird people look alike or what?"
Why you gotta be black?
Why you gotta be racist?
So, Sazid, you say you don't know who it was they encountered. Do you say anything else? Just that you just got here?
Last I knew, I was flying along in my homeland, and then I crashed on this bed.
Go ahead and roll me a history check, Sazid.
I also got a 14 on my nature roll.
Yep. Yeah, I saw. I will respond
Okay.
to that momentarily.
Gave that some force.
I saw that.
A 12.
You say your homeland, and you realize you can't remember anybody from there. You can't remember. You know you were hunting with some people that you had maybe just gotten done, but
Do I remember what I was hunting?
you remember that you're a monster hunter. But the details, no, not so much. All right. In the meantime, Eclipse, with your 14, you recognize that this man is an Aarakocra. And you remember that the man you guys met at the crossroads was a Therianthrope, so a werebird. So, unless the Aarakocra is a werebird that can turn itself into another bird, these aren't even the same species.
And I'll go ahead and set it out. It's like, if he helped us, and you obviously can see he's not the same species, right?
By the way, Susie, I just noticed you never gave me ammo for my ranged weapons.
You're right, we never did give you ammo. That's something that's easily fixed, though.
You fight without the ammo. You'll be fine.
when
This is a blunt weapon.
Go ahead, Heathcliff.
When Eclipse says that, I'm gonna visibly relax and put my short swords away.
Irina's going to step beside you as you're putting your swords away and go, besides, you guys were looking for your other party member. This has to be him, right? And she steps up to Sazid, stepping over this corpse of a zombie, and says, hello, any friend of these three is a friend of ours. Have you come to help us complete, or to lay to rest the spirits of this house?
Honestly, can't tell you what I'm doing here.
I'm just gonna let her continue thinking they're the party. I'm not gonna deal with that anymore.
I'm giving Irina this like, what are you talking about? Look.
You guys, you, Sazid, you see them looking at Irina like, what? And she seems to be accusing you of being friends with the party.
And FYI, I've never met any of you in my life.
She goes, well, that's really strange, because they were up here looking for you. Perhaps we should return to Ez downstairs and catch our breaths before we continue too much further. And she takes a couple of steps this way and looks over at Abel before saying, and you, what happened? Fell asleep and woke up in somewhere else in the house again?
It happens.
All too often. Stop eating magic muffins.
But they're so good.
So we have insomnia dragon.
And then she heads back out into the hallway. So I'll go ahead and take fresh initiatives from everybody so that we can control communication order.
15.
Right. Heathcliff, you have a body out in the hall. You have a body here in this room. What is your plan?
Yeah, we're gonna leave the body here in this room. And we're gonna go outside, collect the mother, and keep proceeding towards the stairs.
Okay. Irina helps you collect the mother. Sazid, what is your plan?
I'm still confused and unaware of my surroundings entirely. So I'll just hold action and wait for the rest of the party to act, see what they do. So, pass turn.
All right, Abel, your turn. Bird Guy, Irina has invited Bird Guy to help the party. She assumes he's part of the party. But he's standing there obviously looking like, what the hell is going on?
Come, friend, we will regroup with everyone and explain what's going on.
After you.
And I'll head out.
Eclipse.
I will, as I'm walking to leave the room, I'll walk by our friend here, tap him on the shoulder. It's like, don't worry about it. Everything's weird here. You'll catch up. And then be like, shall we?
You touch skin? Do you touch my wings or just clothing?
Clothing.
Okay. Then we have no issues here.
And then I will go ahead and proceed to the hallway. Turn around. It's like, are you coming?
Okay. So you guys head out of the room, presumably to head back downstairs?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and clear this map and put us on the next map. Which I suppose I should share as I'm dropping the tokens for you, huh?
Are we going to need this map again, or can we get rid of it?
You can go ahead and get rid of that one. If you need it again, I'll reshare it. Who am I missing? Eclipse. Oh, there it is. All right. When you reach the bottom of the stairs, the moment you step on the bottom step, Heathcliff, the bronze statue of the eagle within this room. I'll go ahead and reread the description of the room specifically for Sazid. Peeling wallpaper and a musty scent cling to the walls of this spacious foyer. A curving staircase rises from the cracked tile floor to a balcony above, keeping its distance from a darkened chandelier. Doors lead in every direction. At the room's center, a bronze sculpture of an antlered eagle perches atop a marble pedestal. Now, when you reach the bottom step, Heathcliff, you put your foot down, and the moment you do, you hear a thundering crack as you notice the statue, the bronze statue, shudder and fractures. Apparently Abel wants to message me. I saw that in chat just now. Shudders and cracks, and you see bronze sculpture begin to pop off of it, like as though it's falling apart. What do you do?
Immediately say it's not my fault.
No, I would want everybody quickly to get into the quote unquote safe room with Ez.
Do you drop the body?
No, I'd try to take it with me.
Into the safe room?
Yep.
Okay, what's everyone's passive perception? We'll go ahead and start with Heathcliff first. What's your passive perception?
15.
Okay. Sazid, your passive perception? Oh, it wouldn't matter. I don't need to worry about yours. Abel, what's your passive perception?
11.
What?
11.
11? Okay. And Eclipse. You're 16, right?
I can't remember. Oh yeah, perception. Yes.
Okay. Eclipse and Heathcliff, you both immediately notice the building has no front door. All of the other doors are where they're supposed to be, but where the front door should have been, there is simply a wall. Heathcliff, we are in initiative order, still on your turn. Do you just head straight into the room with your movement? You have full movement from where you're at right now.
Yeah, I'd take. I mean, I'm at the top of the stairs currently.
You're at the bottom.
Then shouldn't
I have
the
them
rest of
reversed.
the-
I want it this way
Okay.
because it opens directly to the door.
Okay, just making sure. Yeah, I would take note of the fact that the front door doesn't exist, and go in the room with Irina, carrying the body of the mother. And I think I have one of the kids, don't I? I think Eclipse has the other.
I believe so.
So try to get them in that room as quick as we can.
I completely forgot about that. I would have had the kids react to you guys fighting their dad.
So I would probably come and try to put the body over here in its rocking chair.
Okay.
Keep it kind of out of the way.
All right. Anything else for your turn?
Nope, that'd be it.
All right. Irina moves here, triggering to finish her move after everybody else is in the room. Sazid, you're targeting yourself.
Yes, I am.
Control, click yourself, and you'll untarget yourself.
Did not mean to do that. Oh, is it my turn?
Yeah.
So I will follow suit with these guys, come into this room, and finally ask what's going on.
Well, you saw the statue crack in the other room, so right now it's pretty tense. It's not really the chance to ask that question. When you do enter this room, I'll go ahead and read the description for you. Dozens of faded portraits cover the parlor's walls. The subject of the photos' eyes are all fixed on a circular table with an ornate spirit board laying in the middle of it. A wide mirror hangs over a tall fireplace in the north. Standing in front of said tall fireplace is a woman by the name of Ez. Now, you haven't been introduced to her yet, but Ez has purplish black hair, and she's dressed in brightly colored clothing. I bet I can find a picture of her again. I had it before. Guests of the house. Irina and Ez. Oh, there's no picture on this tab, so I'll have to pull up another one because I found it before. But she's dressed in brightly colored clothing, leather jacket that goes basically down to her knee length, and she is wielding a rapier, or has a rapier strapped at her side. And she seems to be like not only startled by the cracking of the statue, but she's looking at you with sort of a quizzical look. And then she looks over at Heathcliff, who's carrying a body. And from where you're at, you can't tell, you can't see, but there's something off about how she's walking. One of her legs, something appears to be off about from where you're standing. The table is sort of blocking your view. But there's like a metallic clunking sound when she walks. And she steps over here, and she looks at Heathcliff and goes, "Is this the guy?" The one you were looking for? Sazid, is there anything else you would like to do with your turn?
Why does everyone think I've been here for a while?
So you just stand there, just in shock? Is that what I'm getting?
Yeah, I'll just pass turn.
Okay. Abel.
I'm gonna head in the room and say, "Hey, what's up, Ez?"
Also apparently not bothered by the exploding statue. Eclipse, back your token back up.
That's me. I did that by
Oh.
accident. I grabbed the wrong one.
You monster.
Can you throw the map up again? One more time, I think I accidentally closed it.
Oh, yeah, I can do that.
Thank you.
Which zooms it out for everyone else. So, you're just not bothered by the cracking statue?
I figure it's another phantasm of the house.
Oh, you actually full on physically see debris hit the floor, and like Heathcliff noticed it, not just you, and Irina has her weapon pointed at it. So phantasms, you guys only all individually saw. Anything you saw as a group was real.
Oh,
And also, I think you might have moved too many squares. 20, 25, 30. Yeah, the furthest you can move in is like here.
I'm trying to sit at the table.
Okay, 5, 10, 15, 20. 20 feet would get you to the table on this side.
That's fine.
So, but you do come in and just sit down despite the thing everybody sees, or do you not? Now that you're aware that it's real.
No, I'll go up and investigate the statue.
Instead of coming into the room?
Yeah.
Then we will cut you back here. Are you just going to roll investigate?
Yeah.
Okay.
For a straight 10.
With a straight 10, beneath the cracking bronze, you see real feathers of red and blue trying to break their way free.
If I had more actions, I'd try and assist helping it come out.
Okay, anything else? Okay.
No, I'm done.
Eclipse. Statue's cracking. Door is missing. And you see Abel sort of overlooking this cracking egg of a statue. Something strong enough to shatter bronze.
Huh. Curiouser and curiouser. Actually. How big's the crack?
I mean, the statue is cracking like an egg. The creature's coming out of it.
Oh, got you. Well, there's nothing much I can do at the moment because I'm out of spell.
Well, you can try once again to identify the creature. I'm pretty sure everybody failed to the first time we encountered the statue. Or you can go in the room and take cover.
I will go ahead and try to identify the creature.
Nature check. Are you going to keep that roll?
Yeah, screw it. I'll roll again.
You recognize the creature as a Peryton. Perytons are monstrous carnivores that feed on anything, though they prefer humanoids, especially elves, half-elves, drows, and humans. When it kills a humanoid, it is known to rip out the heart and take it back to the nest to be devoured. Perytons are bizarre creatures that blend the body and wings of a bird of prey with the head of a stag. Its strangest feature, however, is its shadow, which appears humanoid rather than reflecting the creature's physical form. In your studies, you learned, maybe your dad told you this story, but sages postulate that the very first Perytons were humans that were transformed by a hideous curse or a magical experiment. However, bards tell a different tale of a man whose infidelity caused his scorned wife to cut out the heart of her cut out the heart of her younger, more beautiful rival and consume it in a ritual intended to forever win her husband's love. The ritual succeeded until the woman's villainy was exposed. Legend says she was hanged for her crime, but the lingering magic of her foul ritual caused the carrion birds that feasted on her corpse to transform into the first of the Perytons. You know that they have an unnatural hunger. Their reproductive cycle depends on them eating the heart of a freshly killed humanoid.
All right, I go ahead and let everybody know that the thing coming out of this is probably going to try and eat us alive.
So, Abel, the thing you want to help hatch wants to eat you.
So, note to self, don't help it.
All right. Are you going to do anything else? That was your action to identify it. You still have your move and your bonus action.
I'm going to go ahead and 1, 2, 3. Can I see the creature?
Within the hatching shell, you can. Your perception's high enough, passive 16. You can see feathers and wet feathers, like straight up. It's like a hatching egg. There's you can see fluid on these feathers as it's trying to crack.
You know what? YOLO.
yeah.
I am going to
5,
use my
10,
entire
15.
snipe on the egg.
I mean, the egg is bronze.
But there's cracks within the egg, correct?
Yeah, but not. I mean, you'd be at disadvantage to try to hit the creature within the egg. So it's up to you.
I'll take the disadvantage. It's a free action.
Okay. Okay.
Because why not?
No. Oh, yes, that's a bonus action for you. So yeah, sure, okay. How long does that transformation last for you?
The transformation lasts, I believe, 10 rounds. Form lasts for 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Okay. I was like, if it only lasts like a minute, then it would have worn off by the time you got over here. But no, you've still got a couple of minutes with it.
60 rounds.
Yeah, that's 60 rounds.
And it's a luminous arrow of light, so this should be fun.
Yeah, just make sure you click the disadvantage button down at the bottom.
And cast.
That was going to be really good.
Scatters off of the bronze. And in fact, with that low of a roll, you actually, I'll roll for it so I'm not rude.
Not rude.
Yeah, no, with that, you actually help. You crack several of the bronze pieces off of it, and you see its head break free. This stag head with a beak and antlers come busting through the bronze, and it lets out this mournful screech. And that will bring us to the end of your turn. We'll be back at the top of initiative order when we come back from break. This creature is trying to break free. It wants to have you for lunch. So I'm going to go ahead and take the moment to switch us to the Be Right Back screen here on our stream so that my players can drink some water, stretch their legs. I'm going to do the same thing. I hope our viewers do as well. I hope you guys are enjoying what you see. And if you do, please feel free to click that follow button. In the meantime, we will be right back. Of course, now my hotkeys decided to stop working again. There it goes. Hello, 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 and welcome back from our break. Is it still recording my Discord? Looks like it is. Thank you, OBS. You're actually working mostly without glitches tonight. That was like one little one, but we're here. I swear to God, if people don't stop messaging me while I'm doing this, I'm going to smack somebody.
All right, let me message you real quick.
Just literally threw my phone across the room.
All right. I'm gonna leave the house.
That's also directed at you, Druzzle.
Hey, it was a group chat.
Well, still inappropriate. Put your phone down. We're playing a game.
My phone is down. It's over on this thing charging.
Put your
I haven't touched it all game.
Put your instant messenger away. All right, audience, welcome back from your break. I hope everybody stretched their legs, drank some water, had all that fun stuff taken care of. And then I coughed. I'm gonna cough again. When last we left, a Peryton was hatching in the hallway. That is where we're gonna pick up. I need fresh initiatives from everyone, including this creature.
My other two rolls that didn't roll in the chat box were much better than that.
Wait, I might actually be first in initiative for once.
I missed twice. I missed the chat box twice.
Okay, and then I need to roll Irina's as well. Thank you for reminding me that everybody's got to roll it.
So far,
Yeah.
I guess we'll see what the creatures are when they eventually show.
So I can see his head
he will
now,
go before
right?
the creature.
Ah.
And what's that?
I can see its head now, right?
Yes.
Oh, good. I will use my free action to fire my Antares arrow at its head.
That's still with disadvantage.
Okay, disadvantage it is. Well, no, you said I could try to reason with it.
Yeah.
Well, no, this is a free action, so I could technically try to reason with it. And if it doesn't work, then I can fire at its head.
If you want to actually try to reason with it, you're going to have to roll a persuasion check, which is an action. So.
Well, yes, but
Yeah,
the free action.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we're gonna do, you said a persuasion check.
Yep. Or intimidate, or deception, depending on how you're trying to.
And persuasion's higher. I'm pretty much gonna persuade it not to try and eat us. Though I don't think it's gonna work, but why not? Give it a go.
How are you persuading it? And in what language are you speaking?
Oh, that's fair. Let's see. I'm going to attempt to persuade it by promising it as much as it can eat if it joins us.
It eats human hearts and elf hearts.
Eats human heart and elf hearts. I'm fairly certain we'll come across a bad few of them. So, it's like...
And you're totally comfortable just feeding it people?
Depends on the people.
What is your current alignment?
I'm pretty sure it's just true neutral.
Okay. I am too after this.
But yes, I will attempt to persuade it by promising it any of the hearts of the evil people that we fight.
And in what language did you say it in?
Let's see. Let's do it in... Is it smiling?
It's got a beak.
It looks like it's smiling from the thing.
Oh, in the picture it doesn't have a beak. In the picture it's got just a normal stag mouth.
In the picture it looks like it's smiling.
I'm giving it a beak. That is a weird picture. That is a pretty smiley picture. I'll zoom it in for the people in stream.
Let's do... Let's see, Sylvan is plants. Druidic would be animals.
Sylvan is not necessarily just plants. There are creatures that speak Sylvan.
Oh. I will attempt it in Druidic.
You do know that only druids speak Druidic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought Druidic was animal speak.
Nope. Nope, it's the secret language of all druids.
Oh, so if that's the case. Let's do. You know what? Why not? Let's do Sylvan.
Okay, and you got an 18.
Mm-hmm.
It lets out a screech, but otherwise seems like it's ignoring you.
Mm.
Language was it speaking? Because I might have understood it actually.
It's not speaking anything. Eclipse spoke in Sylvan. Do you speak Sylvan?
No, I thought it was speaking in like Orin or something like
Nope.
that.
No, it's not speaking at all.
Well, let's see. Weapons right now would probably hit the egg rather than it. So you know what? I will go ahead and cast my Antares. I don't want to do that. Yeah, I'll cast my Antares Snipe at the egg.
Okay. It's still disadvantaged to get a clean shot on anything. Because the egg is made out of bronze.
Even though I'm firing at the egg?
Yeah, because you still have to hit it in such... Bronze, you would still have to hit like at the correct angle to crack it.
Oh, okay.
Nope. Your shot just
And
sort of skates off of the bronze.
Okay. And then I will move here. And that will end my turn.
Sazid. You're in the room. You hear the sound of metal clanking and a bird screech and a guy trying to talk in a language you don't understand.
How tall is the ceiling in the room that the creature's in?
Did you say how tall is the ceiling?
Yes.
It goes up 2 floors. There's a balcony on the floor above it.
Good to know.
So we'll
And how do I change
call it
my
25
altitude
feet.
again?
You hold the Alt key and use the scroll wheel on your mouse.
Okay, so I have, is it a 50 foot, 5 feet or 30?
I have no idea. What is it?
I am checking currently.
It's on your main page of your character sheet. Looks like you have fly 50. The room that you're currently in only has like a 10-foot ceiling. 10, 15-foot ceiling.
Yeah. Could I use my 25-foot ground movement and then 50 fly? Or would it take away the 25?
You could do 25 on the ground and then 25 in the air. You can do a maximum of whatever your largest movement speed is. When you combine
I'll go out of the room, go here, which is
So that's
5, 10, or 15.
5.
But I have to go around the corner to go out the door.
5, 10, 15. Yeah, 15 gets you there.
15. And then
20, 25. You still have
Mm.
25 feet of movement left.
Going into its space gives an attack of opportunity. Oh, but it's still hatching.
Yep.
And I wouldn't give advantage because I'm up above, would I, if I flew over here?
What do you mean advantage on what?
For able
No.
flanking.
No, you wouldn't.
Alright, so
If you were
We'll just go
on the
back.
same level as him or within a 5-foot argument, that would be different.
So we'll just go back here, and I would still have my bow drawn because I was suspicious of the whole situation. So, oh, we still didn't give me ammo in that break.
I know. I'll go ahead and add it to your character sheet now since you're being particular about it. I wasn't going to stress it.
I just want to know how many arrows I have to fire.
You have 19 arrows left if you look at your character screen.
Uh-huh. So I will use one of them and fire at the bird with disadvantage, I'm guessing.
Yep. I'll just set that to
So
20 and we'll mark 2 off and make it easier.
And I'm assuming an 8 does not hit.
No, it definitely does not. Ka-tink! Your shot bounces off. Why do you have 3 ammo marked?
I don't know. Because you marked 2 and it was probably before I just used that one.
Oh, because it auto-tracked it?
Yeah. Oh,
There.
there. It's got 2 marked now. I should have collected my arrow upstairs. It was just sticking out of the wall. Oh well. And then I shall pass turn
Alright.
to the creature.
With one last thunderous crack, it erupts, throwing shards of bronze in every scattering direction around it. Revealing, I'm going to share a picture to you guys. Oh, I already have that tab open. Sweet, saves me some trouble. This is a Peryton. And, oh, so that is a beak. It's a beak and it has fangs.
Oh,
It's adorable. I want to pet.
Just remember, if you pet it, you're going to lose a finger.
Hmm.
What is my music playing something random again?
I'm weighing my options here.
Possibly.
Why does it keep doing that? I literally have it set on shuffle and loop. It should never leave this playlist. Now Amazon's getting on my nerves as much as Spotify did. Because that makes literally no sense. There's no reason it should do that. Anyways. Alright. So that's the Peryton. Its actions are as follows. I'm seeing if it's got a multi-attack or not. Okay. Sweet, and its movement speed is sweet. It throws itself straight up in the air because of the room that it's in. This movement, Abel, does not provoke attacks of opportunity.
It's lame.
It's just too quick. The thing moves with the speed of a falcon. Even at its massive size. It hurls itself straight upwards, letting out a cry, before diving straight downwards. 435, so that's 40. 45, 50, 55, 60. Oh, I would have done 30 feet, because then he could stop here and be on the same level as Sazid. He takes a diving lunge at you from inside this small category, Sazid. Trying to hit you with its beak. Oh, I should have dropped that on your character. 21 to hit, Sazid.
That's a hit.
for
That's a lot
20
of dice.
points of damage, which I should have dropped directly on you. Yeah, part of that was from the dive itself.
I am down to 6 health after one attack.
Yep. And then it swings at you with one of its talons. For 24 to hit.
24 hits.
For 5 points of damage with the talon as it grips hold of your chest and takes a chunk out with it. Then passing turn. That brings us to Irina, and Irina just lets out a gasp and goes and cusses. She basically drops in a language none of you understand, because I don't think anybody here speaks Vistani. She swears, and you're certain it's a swear, before she draws her bow.
Carl?
Yes?
Oh, I'm sorry, DM, whatever you want us to call you. I would like to ask that I don't speak the language, but I recognize the swear words like I do in Spanish.
No.
No? Okay.
No, because you guys aren't from the Mists, so you guys have never really encountered Vistani.
Okay.
You can tell by her inflection that it's swearing, but as far as like anything beyond that, that's all you got.
Knowing it's swearing and understanding the swear is two different things.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, for some reason, Irina can't roll her attack on the creature. It's a 19 to hit. It has an armor class of... That counts as a hit. I wonder, can I target it?
That's a good armor class.
Let's
I like that it counts as a hit as an armor class.
Yep. Let's create it a new
Ruin!
token.
Gone.
No, I'm creating it a new token to see if it'll allow me to target it, because it's not letting Irina target. There we go. But it was a hit. For minimal damage. As this arrow hits it, you realize that the arrow glances off more than it even like strikes it. As you could tell by the box. Well, you can probably tell by the box. I don't know if it popped up her damage since I rolled it on the GM screen. It did pop it up. As you can see, partially resisted her bow shot. She swears again. Abel, your turn. This creature is 10 feet above your head. Well, arguably, I guess it's 5 feet above your head.
I'm going to cast Bless.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know you knew Bless.
I do. I guess on everyone but Heathcliff.
Since he's out of the room?
Well, that, and I have to choose 3.
Yeah.
So, all right. Control to select people?
Yeah.
You.
Whoops. Okay, that worked. So Eclipse, Irina, and Zed are all targeted. Boom.
And control again to untarget them?
Yep. For everyone watching, that's a Fantasy Grounds interface thing. If you hold control while clicking a target, you target them. Alright, Bless was an action.
Yes.
Okay, you still have a bonus action and a move.
I'm good. I'm done.
Okay. Heathcliff, your turn. Combat has begun to ensue in the other room.
Yep. I'm going to use 10 of my movement and go here and hand as the...
I believe you have the 10 soldier.
Dead. Yeah, I think I had the tin soldier.
which is
But
the
hand
little
as
girl.
the tin soldier and let her know that this is the spirit of the little girl for the house. They were in a protected room upstairs, and please protect her. And then I'm going to run out. So I used 10. So I've got 15, 20. You know, I'm not even going to leave the room. I'm going to stand here in the doorway. Here. I do have it. I'm going to use my bonus action to hide kind of behind the door here.
While
See
you
if
were
I
out
can-
of while you were out of view of the thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So roll me a hide. A stealth check. When you hand the $10 to Ez, she's kind of like, "What is this?" at first when you first hand it to her, and you explain that it's the spirit of the little girl possessing the doll, and she's very hesitant to take it, but she sees that it's important to you, so she does, and she sets it in the chair next to her, and she's kind of standing in between the door and the chair.
Okay. 13. That was sleight of hand.
Okay.
Stealth's the one below it.
26.
26
I was like,
is
why is it only +6?
26
What's going
is
on?
much better. Yeah, the Peryton does not see you.
Okay. It's gonna in a second.
For the
'Cause I'm
record,
gonna shoot
you already would have had sneak attack because there is an ally with a ranged attack because there's an ally within melee range of the target.
True, but I wanted advantage.
Okay.
Because advantage increases my chances to hit. And actually, it increases my chances to crit, is what I really wanted it for.
Okay. That's fair.
So yeah.
I'm
Plus, I forgot that.
I'm also going to go ahead and give you a point of inspiration for taking the time out of your turn, the item interaction, to give the doll, to make it important to protect the little girl. And I would say Eclipse, take a note out of his book, because don't forget you're holding the spirit of the little boy.
Oh, that's going to be part of my turn.
Okay.
To yell at Eclipse.
Yeah.
I wanted to take my attack before, announcing myself that I'm here.
Fair.
So
Shoot your
advantage
shot.
on my short bow attack, which I drew as I went
For a crit.
for a crit. Which now I have to control click, but that's okay. Or control roll it. Okay.
What type of weapon? Are you doing it with your dagger?
No, that was the short bow.
Oh, with a short bow, which is piercing?
Yeah. I mean, the dagger is piercing too. The short swords are piercing. The short swords are not slashing weapons, they're piercing weapons.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I thought they were slashing.
No, the only slashing finesse weapon is the scimitar.
Okay, I'll tell you the effect of your crit after you roll your damage.
Cool. So I hold control since I added the sneak attack to myself to actually make it crit, right? We
Yeah.
think?
Hopefully it should roll it on its own because of the order that you did stuff in.
Yeah, but after I rolled the attack roll, I put sneak attack on myself.
Oh,
which we
you
learned
did it
last time
after,
broke
so
it.
it broke it. Yep. So you should have
Yeah.
to click it. Drop it in the chat box, not on the creature, and I'll manually add it, and that'll let us.
I have the creature targeted.
Well, I was about to say
There
that'll
may-
let us know when you roll it if it's
Okay.
going to roll it correctly or not.
Yep, all on target. It did.
It did roll it correctly on its own.
Yep.
Sweet. For 18 points of damage, which I need to double check. Yeah. It's only going to take 9 points of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of figured. And then I'm gonna yell at Eclipse to get the boy in the room.
Yeah, I'm on my way.
As you're yelling at Eclipse, I feel like you fired the shot and then looked straight at him, so you don't even see the result of your crit. But you hear it. You hear the thud of the Peryton falling to the ground. It is not prone.
Nice.
It is not prone, but it did just drop out of the sky, or out of the air. You tore its shoulder. That thing impaled its shoulder, and you specifically, because you dealt piercing damage, you tore its shoulder, and I decided that shoulder that you tore was the shoulder of one of its wings.
Would that give Sazid attack of opportunity?
No,
since
because it's forced movement, not chosen movement.
Okay.
So, but that was still a great shot, Heathcliff. Anything else you want to do with your turn?
No, that's gonna be it.
Mr. Eclipse, we're back at the top of initiative. Sazid has suggested taking the boy and giving him to Ez to be protected. The elephant. Stuffed elephant that you're carrying.
Yes.
You mean Heathcliff?
Ez is the one at the table, right?
Yep.
Yep.
I will go ahead and back up to set the bear on the table. And I'll tell Ez, like, same thing with this one. And then I will...
She steps over and moves the stuffed animal into the chair with the other one, and she just kind of looks at them for a minute. And Heathcliff and Eclipse, both of you guys, your perceptions are high enough that you hear the dolls start talking to her right away, but you're caught up in combat, so you're not able to actually tell what they said to her. But even she's just like, wait, what?
I tell as I'm about to turn to attack, I'll tell the dolls, play nice. And then I yell at Abel to duck because I'm about to fire one of my Antares snipes.
Okay. Click -2 before you roll your attack roll.
Okay.
Because so long as Abel is there, you're going to be... the thing has partial cover from him.
Oh, what was that?
You got a plus a D4 because you're blessed.
Oh, okay.
For an 11 to hit, that is a miss. Your shot fires over his shoulder and over the creature.
And after that, I will end my turn.
You don't want to do anything else as an action?
I don't have any spells left.
Do you have any other weapons, like a bow or anything?
That's a good question.
No, you have melee weapons.
No. This is my ranged attack.
Okay.
Yep, that's it for me.
Sazid, this thing just got snatched out of the air in front of you and dropped to the ground.
And I'm currently at 1 hit point.
Yeah. And currently,
So
out of its reach.
I shall fly up another 10 feet. And then 15, 20, 25. Zoom my map out. I'll go right to the corner of the room.
So that's 30 feet of movement? Yes?
30 feet of movement.
Okay.
And again, attempt to shoot it with my bow.
I'm going to put
Hopefully I
you
don't
in
roll
the
a 1.
square that is the wall square.
Okay. And yes, like I said, attempt to shoot it with my bow. Why did it roll a d4 as well?
Because you're blessed.
Because I'm blessed.
That is a hit.
19 to hit. So you want me to roll the damage on the creature? Or...
Yeah, you can go ahead and drop it on the creature. Because it'll auto reduce the damage.
Two damage.
Woohoo! A whole 2 damage. Good job, you. With a longbow? Ooh, that's rough. Okay, you did your move, you did your attack. You have a bonus action. Are you going to do anything?
I could action surge.
You could action surge.
You know what? We will. We'll
Might
action
not be
surge
the
and take another
worst
shot.
idea.
Action surge, take another shot. For a 20
Soft
to hit.
20 to hit. Okay, that hits.
And roll damage on creature. That's better.
Yep, instead you did
It's
4.
only 4, but... It was a better roll. It was 8 before it got halved. And then I will pass turn. Just flying up in the corner.
All right. The creature just sort of like looks around and tests its shoulder because it's boned, and it realizes that if it tries to take off, it won't provoke an attack of opportunity, but it's obvious in its eyes that it's like scared to try and fly, given everything. So instead it's going to turn to Abel, who happens to be right here, just to make it easier on itself, and it's going to go ahead and make an attack roll at Abel. $13 to hit, Abel?
I do believe that's a miss.
That is a miss. All right, after missing with its beak, it swings a talon at you. And it's letting out these screeching noises. Like the sound is disturbing. It's almost a humanoid voice behind the stag mouth and beak.
I wonder if it just speaks common. Maybe a bit too fancy.
17 to hit. That one is a hit. Abel.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Oh, it rolled your concentration save, and you failed your concentration save. I was really confused what that extra pop-up of dice were.
That's all expired, too. That was like, huh?
Yep, it broke your bless on everybody. All right. And that is all it can do. When it passes its turn, everyone in the room... no, I can't say everyone in the room, because all the perceptive people are in the other dang room. Okay. Sazid, what's your passive perception?
I think Sazid... Does Sazid know he's muted?
You might not. Sazid, are you there?
Sorry, I didn't realize I was still muted.
What's your passive perception?
It is 12.
Nope. Everybody in the room notices nothing other than a creature screaming and writhing as it's trying to peck and claw its way.
Now, here's my question. Is the door's open, right?
Yes?
So would people that say right next to the door be able to see anything?
Not from the angle that you're at. Because it's not in your line of sight. Irina stows her bow as her item interaction, takes a step forward. As she's taking a step forward, she draws her sword. Wait, because I do believe that's her fighting style, is swords, yes? Yes, it is. No, I don't have it calculated on there. Well, that's annoying. Why don't I have that calculated? She should be fighting style dueling. Double check that on her abilities tab, because I forgot with fighting styles you don't actually get to add that to your thing.
No, you gotta create a specific weapon for it.
Yep.
Well, that's great.
Plus 2 bonus to damage rolls when you're dueling. And no, you can just modify the existing damage to reflect it.
True. But then if you're ever wielding another sword in your other hand...
But she wouldn't if she's a duelist. There would be no point in it. It would defeat being a duelist. She rolls her attack roll as she tries to stab with this sword and misses. She action surges to swing again.
Wait. So she should have been doing more damage this entire time?
She hasn't landed anything with her rapier, with her sword. Till now. Till this very attack. for another 6 points of damage. Abel, Irina runs up beside you and just starts stabbing this creature. Your turn.
Ready? I too am going to stab at thee. But first I'm going to move there so I have advantage.
Good call.
And then I'm going to stab at her. Or it. For a 14.
That is a hit. The creature cries out as your blade strikes home. Ah! Ah! I don't know, one of those sound effects. I'm not sure what sound effect to make for a human vocal corded stag-mouthed, or stag with a beak.
So, all told, 5 points of damage. Because it half the 10. Wish I had another spell slot.
Unfortunate. Alright. Anything else for your turn?
No.
Heathcliff, it's your turn. Do not forget, Abel, that you have lay on hands and you could be healing people.
Lay on hands is a spell, is it not?
No, it's a bonus action ability.
You have to be next to people, but you can totally heal.
So, don't forget you have that. Heathcliff, your turn. Do you step into the room?
It's not on my sheet.
It is too.
I'm not seeing it.
Alright, one sec, Heathcliff. We'll go to your turn in a moment so I can point out where it's at on his sheet.
Not a problem.
On your Actions tab, under Paladin Actions and Effects, it says Divine Sense, Divine Smite, Fighting Styles, and then Lay on Hands.
Those are... Oh, there it goes. They weren't popping up for some reason until I clicked on it and then they popped up. There they are.
So, alright, Heathcliff, sorry.
It's all good. Do I know if this thing is a construct or an undead?
It appears to be a living, monstrous beast of some type.
Excellent. Well, I'm gonna come up here then, and I'm gonna try to bite it.
You're just gonna run up and bite it?
Yep.
It's like, who's got the better hunger? Describe your attempt to bite it. Since at the moment, your fangs have been barely extended.
Yeah, I don't even know if I would extend them until I actually bit it.
Yeah, you had said before that you let them show enough to reveal yourself as being slightly off, but not to reveal your true nature. So I would assume as you're trying to bite him now, they would fully extend as part of the mouth opening process. So anyone in this room with a passive perception of, I would say, 15, which is nobody in this room, could see it. The person directly behind you could see you do something.
Oh, in the room. Never mind.
In the room. I mean, Irina's gonna know what I'm doing, but...
Yeah, Irina's absolutely going to know, because if she had taken any damage, she'd probably do the same thing.
I just wish I had a different place to move, but that's okay.
Because you want
For
to
a
sneak
17
attack
to
with
hit.
your bite?
Wait. That is not supposed to be Dex. That is supposed to be Con. It used the wrong modifier.
Reroll with the correct modifier.
Right? Hold up. Which you're proficient, and you add your con modifier. Yeah, so... I thought I set that up last time. Melee con prof, yeah. That's weird. I wonder why it switched to Dex. Anyway, that one's better.
Actually, I'm also going to give Sazid advantage on his passive perception to see it specifically because of what he is, of who he is. So your passive perception is what, Sazid?
I think it's 13, because my wisdom modifier is 12, and I'm proficient.
So that's 1, and you're
wisdom
proficient,
modifier
that's
is
3, so yes, 13. Because you have advantage on the passive check, that actually means you have an 18. So, yes, you do. You see him extend vampire fangs as he bites down onto this creature. Where are you trying to bite it, Heathcliff?
Probably near or on the shoulder that I already damaged.
Okay. Just to go for the open wound that you know is there.
And if I can I, like, take my arrow back at the same time?
I'm going to go with no. That would be...
The perfect sound effects. It's just nom nom yoink.
It's an item interaction, so arguably yes, but collecting arrows, I use the 3-5 roll, which is you have to roll a percentage to see if the arrow even survives.
Right. So it would have been, as I rushed up, I would have stored my bow as part of my movement.
Yep.
Then I'm going to bite, and then I'm going to draw the short sword with my offhand and stab. Because it is stab.
So you're going to stab instead of draw, instead of try to pull the arrow out?
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
Well,
so your bite hit for 23.
No, my bite hits with a 23.
That's what I said.
I wish it hit for 23.
For 23 to hit.
4, 5. So, okay.
How does vampiric bite read?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was getting back in here for. So when you land an attack with this bite and hit a creature, you can empower yourself in one of the two ways. You gain hit points equal to the piercing damage dealt by the bite.
So because it resisted, the creature only took 2 damage. You healed for 2.
Or I can gain a bonus of 2 on the next ability check or attack roll.
Oh. That's cool.
I think I'm going to take the hit points.
Okay.
So that brings me down to 7 wound. And I got to mark off one of the bites.
Can you bite multiple times?
I can bite twice, just not on the same turn because it's an attack action. You can bite equal to your
proficiency.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
I was going to say presence, but I'm like, that's not the right word.
Can I? What was the
soliloquy?
Phrase you used? You speak that. Thank you. Because I could see him through the open door.
Mm-hmm.
After I see him bite, I pretty much yell, "Once you're finished, if you could move out of my line of sight, please."
That's a pretty legit point. Heathcliff, also, as you lean away from it, blood dripping from your mouth, you look at the wall, just sort of adjacent to you, and you notice this creature's shadow, a humanoid shadow, and it's in like a fighting stance, and it's swinging hard, and it's swinging at another shadow, and that particular shadow is being cast on the wall by you, and your shadow is holding its own against it.
My shadow's actually... I can see my shadow moving this time?
Yeah, you absolutely see your shadow moving independently of you, duking it out with it.
Gonna start calling me Peter Pan.
Right. Since we're currently in the middle of combat, I would file that away to freak out about later. And potentially get in an argument with my shadow. But I am going to attack. Actually, before I attack, I'm going to put sneak attack on myself because this one's going to be the one doing sneak attack. And I'm going to attack with my offhand short sword. for 16 to hit. Oh, I still had him targeted.
You do, in fact.
All right, so
Right,
that's a hit.
That's a hit.
And then... Nice. 8 damage.
Well,
Well, it's 4 damage, but...
4.
Take what you can get. This thing is pretty beat up.
And
Lets out
then-
another battle cry.
And then just to spite Eclipse, I'm going to take a half step sideways.
I will take it.
You gotta be in a square.
I know.
But you see him, like, barely move to get out of your way.
That works.
Alright. Eclipse.
I'm going to use an ability I did not know I had, apparently. As a druid of the stars, I have the star map ability, which one of the things it gives me while I'm holding it, or in my case, wearing it as a necklace, gives me the spell Guiding Bolt that I can use without using a spell slot.
Oh, wow. That's pretty powerful. I need to look at your abilities. And star map. You know, you have the Guiding Bolt. It counts, and it doesn't count against the number of spells you have prepared. It's still, without expending a spell slot, you could do so a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus.
Wow.
So you basically got Guiding Bolt, 2 free spell slots of Guiding Bolt.
I know. I was looking at that. I'm like, I haven't been doing that.
Wow. It also gives you access to Guidance as a cantrip, and Guidance is the best cantrip in the game.
Yes. So I will go ahead, and I don't know how to cast it though, because it's not under my spell list.
I'm gonna. It should be. It should have been added to your spells. So I'm gonna go ahead and let me see. Is Guidance even added to your cantrips then?
No.
I'm looking at the wrong character sheet.
Are you looking at Heathcliff's?
No, I was looking at Abel's. Alright, so give me just a moment. I will add these spells to your character sheet.
At least it wasn't mine this
No
time.
need to click that. Accidentally used my
Guidance
second
is
ring.
now on your character sheet, and Guiding Bolt should now be on your character sheet. It is.
You should be able to pop into prepared mode and change it to daily and then put a 2 in there.
That's stuff that can be done later.
There.
Okay, I will go ahead and cast Guiding Bolts at our Peryton friend.
Okay, roll to hit.
Oh.
Oh, and
Does
that
anyone have inspiration?
I do. Go for
Heathcliff's
it.
gonna spend it.
Thank
Heathcliff,
you.
how do you inspire him?
I moved out of the way for that.
Come on, you got a clear shot. Let's go.
So I straight up see him, Eclipse. I see you like pointing your hand out, and a beam of light comes out of your hand, and a small, fine beam of light, looking like a laser sight, and it just kind of pinpoints on his chest. And Heathcliff is really like, "Are you kidding me? I got out of the way for that. Come on, what do you got?" And that is when you release your spell. For a hit, roll your damage. That's also going to be the most powerful attack to hit him this entire time.
Well, we'll see.
I mean, it's the most dice to successfully hit him because he can't resist it. 17 points
Hey.
of damage. You sear through him and drop him unconscious. He hits the floor and his wings are just sort of like flailing beside him as he's just like on the ground, wittering.
So he's still alive.
Yeah, he's still alive. But he's dying.
I will take my free action then at that point.
Your bonus action?
To cast my best friend, my Antares Snipe.
Your Antara Snipe hits, dealing
Which it does
2 immediate death saving throws. You don't
Oh,
have to
sorry,
roll it to hit. You auto hit. You don't have to roll hit to hit or damage.
I accidentally. Oh, okay. Because I know it has a bonus because I hit it with.
Yeah. So guiding bolt gives you advantage on your next attack roll, or on the next attack roll swung at it. But
Oh,
because it's unconscious, you can't miss.
Okay.
So.
And I don't need to do.
Now, you don't need to roll it because you don't take damage after 0. You just take impacts to the death saving throws. So he has taken 2 impacts to his death saving throw. Passes the turn to Sazid unless you want to do something else, Eclipse.
Nope. I think I'm good.
Sazid, your turn, sir.
Okay, so for starters, I'll use my bonus action to use my second wind, which I accidentally already did on somebody else's turn, but we won't talk about that. But how do I do the heal? A D10 plus my fighter level, which would be 2.
So roll a d10
So
plus
let's
2 and
roll.
add it to your character.
Roll a D10.
There might even be... Yeah, if you actually look on the fighter effects tab of your actions tab, a d10 plus 2 self heal.
Ah,
You can just click and drag that. Theoretically, because it's self, it'll auto do it to you. You have to click the dice itself. Oh, it did. Cool. 9 healing.
so I'm down to 16. Well, 16 damage, so 10 hit points.
Yep.
And after that, I will stow my bow for an item interaction. And then, as we're moving, I want to move down. Why it's not letting me.
Hold Alt and scroll.
Ah, there we go.
So 25 feet of
Land
movement.
on the ground.
30,
And then move
35,
over
that's
here.
40.
Yes. And while I was moving, draw my rapier and go to stab this thing in the head. Which I don't need to roll damage.
You
or
deal it
anything.
its killing blow. It lets out a... and then it's just gone. The movement stops. Your group has successfully defeated the Peryton. But other strange sounds are coming from the house. The walls are rattling. You hear chains in the distance. You hear heavy footsteps from upstairs. The whole party does.
Now that that's dealt with, can anybody tell me what's going on here?
We're in a haunted house.
Fair enough.
That's broad stroking it.
Yeah, that's definitely broad stroking it.
I only have 10 feet of movement left, so there's no real point in doing anything else.
Well, you're non-combat
Step
now,
Step closer
so...
to me. I'll lay on hands him if we're non-combat.
Eclipse has less hit points.
Yes, I just healed myself. Oh, did I check my second wind? Make sure I used it up.
Yeah, Eclipse is at 1 hit point.
All right, well, then I'll do it to Eclipse.
I've been at 1 health point for like 2 hours now.
Since the middle of that fight, yeah.
Well, since the beginning of, or the middle of the last fight.
You have to be in reach to do it. Yeah, that's what I was saying, in the middle of the last one.
And just like that, you multiplied my HP by 6.
But, alright, does everybody pile into that room? I asked the group as a whole.
Yeah, I'll join you.
Yes.
Yep.
Irina seals the door and says, well, I think we have a whole list of new problems, as says, how do you mean? Irina goes, well, there are monsters in nearly every room all of a sudden, and she peeks open, or cracks open this door behind her just a hair and makes a gesture by way of the front and says, and the exit's gone. Ez goes, well,
Oh,
she doesn't actually seem shocked. She says, well, that's not unheard of in a haunting. This you group of adventurers, and she looks at Sazid and she goes, and this new one that must be the one you guys were all looking for, have done so much to startle the spirits of the house. It was bound to happen at some point, though I do wonder what you could have done that fully triggered the full awakening of the house. She looks over at the spirit board and says, we can try to converse with Mara again, but she says, but then she also looks over at the body in the corner, the body of the mother, and says, it could just be that you had disturbed enough things to make the home restless.
Yeah.
Tell me, where did you find this woman?
We found her along with these two. I'm gesturing at the children.
She looks at the dolls and says, the ones that were telling me to be wary of the hungry things.
Yes, them. They told us that too. We found them behind a door with a sprig of, I almost said mistletoe.
Belladonna.
Sprig belladonna on it.
Interesting that there would be a sprig of belladonna on a door.
Yeah,
Well, the
feel
sprig
of
of belladonna was missing
Oh,
from the shield icon that was for...
She interrupts you and says, Ezra?
Yes.
She goes over to a corner to one of the piles of books and picks it up and says, that also makes sense. Within the Mists of Raveloft, you will find that Ezra is one of only a few gods known to protect the weary travelers. As the darkness engulfs these lands, it is said that Ezra is the only one who can shine a beacon of protection. She looks at the children and says, it is very possible that these children had been trapped there for who knows how long. And now that you have taken them from that room, you have awakened the spirits that have wanted them for so long. The spirits that could not get to them will now try.
AKA the hungry ones.
AKA the hungry ones.
She sets a book on the table, and it's a book of religious iconography, and it's flipped open to a page that shows the shield with the belladonna emblazoned upon it.
Is it written by Robert Langdon?
No. And she says, well, on the plus side, we appear to be moving in the right direction. However, many of you look worse for wear. She looks at Irina and says, you say the door does not open. Irina nods. Well, then I'm afraid we are left with settling the spirits of the house, or perhaps fighting our way out through an upstairs window. Maybe we can find a balcony. Or if we can get to the roof somehow. She looks over at the chimney as though suggesting perhaps climbing up it. Perhaps we can find a way out
Or
of
it's
the
just
building.
a wall that we haven't cut through.
She nods and says,
Right.
as I said, fight our way out. Does the party have any
last wall,
suggestions?
I almost broke my sword.
I would suggest we rest, because I'm tired.
She says rest is an option. However, I warn you, this room's wards will not keep it safe much longer if the house itself has become active. She flips to another page in the book. She says, perhaps this prayer here will allow Ezra, or will ask Ezra to keep an eye on us as we stay. But I cannot imagine it will keep us for long.
Well, it's
So-
worth a shot.
One person wants to rest. What's everybody else want to do?
I
I
want to
can
rest.
suggest I could fly up the chimney and check if the door is accessible from the outside.
Well, you wouldn't be able to fly up it, but because you can't
There
spread
is
your
that-
wings.
There's that balcony on the second floor in the office.
Irina says, Heathcliff, didn't you also point out a set of stairs on that top floor that led to the roof?
Yes, I believe there was another set of stairs that led up that we didn't go up and go check at the time.
So the option are balcony, roof, chimney, contact Mara, or rest.
I'm fine with resting if people need it, but at the same time, I want to at least get
I'm
the
out
kids
of
out.
school.
If they want to do another seance, we could also do that before resting, because it's not like that's going to lead to combat.
It might.
Irina says, yes, inviting a spirit into the room, you may never know. But that's three voting for rest. So do you guys want a seance before rest or try to rest?
Try and rest.
I'd say we try and rest first.
I concur.
The party suggests rest. Irina says, I will keep an eye on the door as we hunker down, on the doors as we hunker down. She grabs a chair, grabs a couple of chairs, and pins them in front of the other doors. Here. And here. And places herself in front of this one again. Where does everybody post up in the room?
Seeing what I saw, do I know Heathcliff is now a Dampier, or do I just know something?
You know that he had the ability to summon vampiric fangs. He's not a normal drow.
Okay.
I
was
will.
going to suggest he keep watch, considering he didn't need to sleep, but... Oh, drow don't need to sleep either.
Drow need sleep.
They can trance.
4 hours rest.
4 hours rest that they don't need to sleep for.
Wait, Dampiers have that?
Dampiers don't need to sleep at all, I believe.
I don't know about that. I think normally Dampiers do need to rest if their species type needs to rest, but you're an elf. You came from being a drow. You're a Dampier drow. So you would have the Dampier trance.
Okay. Yeah, I was planning on helping keep watch anyway.
So does everybody want to move your tokens where you want to post up at?
I'm just going to take a bedroll and go right over here.
There are only 3 bedrolls in this room.
I have my own bedroll.
I believe I do too, actually.
I wasn't even planning on using a
Eclipse, roll me a percentile.
That's just the dice on the far right. Yep. Okay.
The D10 with double digits. You currently do have your own bedroll because you remembered to grab it out of the carriage where you've been sleeping the last 2 nights.
Lucky me.
I have a bedroll in my inventory as well, so I'll set that up over here by the fire.
Ez keeps possession of the 2 dolls, and you guys hear her conversing with them in a language that you don't understand, but that you recognize as being the same language that Irina was swearing in.
I probably should learn that language at some point.
And Sazid, at this point, you have noticed that Ez has a very ornate prosthetic leg below the knee.
I'll have no comment.
Yeah, that was the clunking sound you heard. Metal on concrete, or metal on stone.
Automail.
Yeah, it's very much think automail from Full Metal Alchemist. It's an automail leg.
We got Edward Elric over here. She'd need an arm too for that.
Abel, are you just gonna stay by the door where Irina is?
Yeah, actually.
So nobody's posting up at the other door?
I'm gonna be leaning against the door so that if it opens,
That's what
fall and
Irina's
wake up.
already doing at this door.
Oh,
That's why I
then I'll
asked
do
if
it
you
at
were
the-
going to stay at this door with her.
Yeah, I'm gonna use if a door opens, I want it to wake me up, so I'll go to the other door.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm leaning against the one I'm on.
Okay. You all set up to rest. Now I'm going to go ahead and tell you in advance. This is where we're going to wrap our session up. But to be clear, you will not be getting a long rest. You will try, but unfortunately, the house is not going to let you. I will, however, be starting next session by triggering a short rest. Short rests will give you the ability to heal. So don't do anything with it this session. Just remind me at the beginning of next session that I promised you at the very least a short rest, and we will go from there.
So
In the meantime,
what I'm hearing is that I'm not going to get any spells back.
Nope.
Yep.
That's why I wanted to rest in the first place.
Yep.
I get my action surge back. That's all that matters to me. And second wind.
The joy of an awakened house is...
I will be able to do nothing except wave a melee weapon.
You will recover your wild shapes. Because you recover those on a short rest.
Same attack over and over is starting to get annoying.
Unfortunately, that's the truth of low levels. Everybody else is stuck on the same attacks as well. They just have to do it with weapon attacks. You've at least got another guiding bolt shot left.
One
guiding bolt, and then endless ammo on your archer. That is unfortunately...
Would he get a long rest with only needing 4 hours?
No. Because
I don't even need a long rest.
I've been out of spells since the session before last.
Yep, you ran out of them during session. No, you ran out of them during last session. You had a full rest walking into last session.
I ran out of spells with the toys.
Yeah, which was last session.
Yeah, that's fair. So I had to go through the toys, a boss fight, a bird.
Hey, don't look at me. You guys are the ones who chose to awaken the house.
No.
Yeah? Yeah, that was on you guys. You guys could have left. You guys could have left the body upstairs. You guys chose to carry the body downstairs and awaken the house. That's not on me.
You said it was the kids that did it, not the body.
Ez said it was the kids. And Ez said it was probably the kids. She also said that you guys could have a seance and ask Mara what triggered it, and you guys chose not to. Another spirit might have been able to give you a more specific answer. So, where we are at is a making of your guys' choices. So far, you guys have chosen the hardest of the 3 storylines and awoken to the house a whole seance early. So, you guys are playing on hard mode. Unfortunately, that's just the way it falls sometimes. But I have faith in my players, and I hope my audience does too. You guys will see it through, I'm certain of it, especially now as we have a new member of the party to help you along. We have 5 combatants that will be traveling the house. When we return next time, we will hopefully be able to make our way to the Leaper, because once we evict the Leaper, we have one more seance, and perhaps then Mara can suggest what we do next. At the moment, our players are left locked in the house, unable to escape the madness, and unable to, unknowingly until next session, unable to complete a long rest. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it goes in horror when you're trapped in the Mists of Raveloft. I want to thank everybody for coming out. I hope you all had a wonderful time, audience and players. You guys actually did a really good job in your combats. I'm actually really proud of you. That's well done all. And I hope to catch everyone next time right here when Fizzy Pop Culture presents Exiles in the Mist. Nobody's going to say their things. I'm a little disappointed, guys.
Did we level?
Yeah.
And is it Sunday yet?
Much better. Good night, guys.